I just think of my mother. And I realized that I know that she's not my mother, but I still love her. And she told me about the hospital, but I'm crazy, that I have 5 minutes to relate it. But I still love her. I grew up with her. I don't know who I am. I don't know, maybe I'm not many. But I just feel really bad because because I love her and my dad too. And I'm not a liar. I tell the truth. I tell what I know, what I think. And that's all. That's all. No, I'm not trying to get attention. Even if I'm not Maddie, I could be another girl maybe, but I believe that I'm Maddie. And I believe that my parents are not my parents. You say something like that? Why there is so much hate? I didn't do anything to you. Why do you hate me a lot? Why? I can't stand it. Bye.
It's a highly doubtful if, but if Madeleine McCann is still alive, 2 weeks ago she turned 19. Of course, her parents, Jerry and Kate, cling to an infinitesimal hope she's out there somewhere. But 15 years on, from the little girl being snatched in Portugal, the realistic view about her fate is far more pessimistic. That's not to say the mystery of what happened to her won't be solved, though. Portuguese and German investigators are convinced they know who abducted Maddie. Their prime suspect is Christian Bruckner, a truly terrible piece of work. However, 2 years after revealing their suspicions about him, there's a tough question to ask. Why haven't they charged him with the crime? It's a completely unwanted claim to fame, the world's most well-known missing child. For a decade and a half now, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann's angelic face has been imprinted in our memories, as has the heartbreak of her parents.
Please, if you have Madeleine, let her come home to her mummy, daddy, brother and sister.
The story, or more accurately, nightmare of Maddie's abduction is frightening. In May 2007, she was grabbed from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal. At the time, her parents, Kate and Jerry, were eating dinner with friends in a restaurant just metres away. Do you think Madeleine was taken that night opportunistically, or do you think it was planned?
All the hallmarks of this case fit with an opportunistic. Most likely, she woke up, she walked out the back patio door, and as she walks down the step and onto the road, that is where the opportunistic offender struck.
Few people know the case better than former British detective Mark Williams-Thomas. That's significant, isn't it? I mean, you're essentially saying that the reason she was taken, the reason that she was at that place at that point in time, and the opportunity arose, was because her mum and dad simply weren't there.
Yeah, and it's incredibly sad, and they have to live with that and the consequences of that for the rest of their life.
Now, this is a family enduring the greatest anxiety. Where is Madeleine?
The effort that's gone into searching for Maddie and finding the truth about what happened to her has been phenomenal. For many, it reached a conclusion 2 years ago with a stunning announcement. A German prosecutor, Hans Christian Wolters, told the world detectives had identified a prime suspect.
The public prosecutor's office is investigating a 43-year-old German national on suspicion of murder.
Today, the suspicion Christian Bruckner, or Christian B, as he's also known, abducted and murdered Maddie is even stronger. Where do you think Madeleine McCann was killed?
In Portugal.
There has never been any remains found, has there? It's quite shocking to hear you say that.
Because of the evidence we have, she died in Portugal.
Mark, as a suspect, Christian B ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Vile, horrible man. He's got a predilection of offences against children. He seeks out children.
Like everyone, Mark Williams Thomas wants the McCann mystery solved. But he's worried prosecutors have acted prematurely and that they simply don't yet have enough evidence to charge and convict Bruckner. In other words, as vile as it sounds, being a pedophile doesn't necessarily make him guilty.
That doesn't make him the prime suspect in relation to Madeleine's abduction solely on the basis that he had a predilection for offending against children. What you need is direct evidence, and there is no direct evidence that places Christian B in Praia da Luz, albeit the German prosecutor has been very clear that he has got that evidence. When you put it apart, it doesn't exist. And let's be clear, this isn't just child abduction we're talking about. The Germans have absolutely nailed their tail on the donkey by saying Madeleine is dead, was murdered in Portugal.
Mark Williams Thomas says that after 2 years working on the case, police should have charged the prime suspect by now. That he hasn't been shows the weakness of the investigation. If you are so certain about this evidence, why haven't you simply charged him?
We can only charge him when we will sure, but in this case we need much more time, so some years, I think.
Prosecutor Wolters is steadfast. He wants it known evidence is being collected. The case against Bruckner is progressing.
We want to make a serious investigation and not a fast investigation.
Great. If he's got a piece of evidence, if he's got that silver bullet that enables him to charge him, then get on and charge him.
Frustration is an understandable emotion when Christian Bruckner's dossier of past crimes is revealed. He's a convicted pedophile, burglar, rapist, and known user of child pornography. He's currently in jail for the violent sexual assault of a 72-year-old woman.
He's a criminal, and he was sentenced for sexual abuse of children, for burglaring, for beating other people, something like that.
And now, Hans Christian Wolters claims he's uncovered new crimes Bruckner has allegedly committed, including more sexual assaults. The prosecutor says they occurred around the area where Maddie McCann disappeared. Are you about to charge Christian Bruckner with other sex crimes that are not related to Madeleine McCann?
We hope that we could end, or that we could finish the investigations on other sex crimes in the next days.
No one disputes Christian Bruckner is a lowlife, but linking him to the McCann case has needed as much good luck as it has good police work. Mark Williams Thomas says the first significant clue was 5 years ago.
There was some intelligence that came in 2017, and this is Helga Busching. And we know that he spoke to the German authorities and said that Christian B at a music festival had told him that he was responsible for Madeleine's disappearance.
Helga Busching also told police he and this man, Manfred Seeferth, visited Bruckner's farmhouse in Praia da Luz, just over a kilometre from where the McCanns were holidaying. Seeferth says inside they found videos that allegedly showed Bruckner sexually assaulting 2 unidentified victims.
She was tied to the post with hands up like this. And she said in German, "This is rape." He said, "No, it's not a rape." She looked like 15 or 16. I saw him clearly in this video. I also saw the face of the young girl.
Even though the tapes have never been found, police still believe the evidence is important. Mark Williams Thomas, though, is less sure, claiming Helga Busching was handed money